Is Mojtaba Khamenei ready to strike a landmark deal with a key U.S. ally while continuing to keep Donald Trump at arm's length? Has Oman agreed to Mojtaba Khamenei's special conditions as negotiations over a Strait of Hormuz agreement gather momentum? Transit fees and designated shipping lanes have reportedly emerged as key issues during the latest high-stakes Iran-Oman talks on Hormuz. Will the proposed agreement finally reopen the world's most critical oil waterway? A top Mojtaba aide has now offered fresh clues. Was Trump's pressure campaign in vain, as Tehran continues rejecting any direct U.S. role in managing the Strait of Hormuz? In a major diplomatic breakthrough, Iran and Oman have reportedly made meaningful progress during their latest negotiations over the Strait of Hormuz. On August 5, Iran's foreign ministry announced that both sides had reached an understanding on the geographical boundaries of the proposed arrangement. The proposed agreement is aimed at establishing a secure commercial shipping route through the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghai reportedly said Iran and Oman are expected to make a joint announcement on the negotiations soon. However, Iran firmly warned that no third party would be permitted to participate in or influence its agreement with Oman. Iran Foreign Ministry said, and I quote, "An understanding with Oman cannot in itself mean that the strait has become safe for passing vessels, because the factors creating insecurity in the Strait of Hormuz, particularly the U.S. naval blockade and other actions against Iran and its interests, remain in place." Reports suggest that a draft agreement has already been finalized as part of efforts to eventually reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Under the proposed arrangement, commercial vessels would reportedly enter the Persian Gulf through an Iran-controlled shipping lane and exit via an Omani route. Iran and Oman are also expected to levy service fees covering maritime security measures and environmental protection, according to reports. However, the proposed agreement is still awaiting final approval from Iran's supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, according to AP. In a significant twist, Iranian state media claimed that an agreement with Oman would not automatically guarantee the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. According to IRIB, any Iran-Oman agreement would deal strictly with future commercial shipping arrangements and nothing beyond that. Notably, Iran has firmly rejected any southern shipping corridor through the Strait of Hormuz that is backed or proposed by the United States. Iranian lawmakers have also accused Washington of attempting to impose its influence over the Strait of Hormuz through military threats. Iran further warned that the Strait of Hormuz would remain closed unless the United States completely halted its military strikes. The reported Iran-Oman breakthrough comes shortly after Donald Trump once again issued a fresh warning to Mojtaba Khamenei. The U.S. president told Fox News that Iran must reopen the Strait of Hormuz or risk renewed American military strikes. Trump said, and I quote, "We were going to a tremendous attack, the biggest since World War II, and they called me and said very politely, 'Please, can we talk?' The strait's going to be open very soon, or they're going to get hit very hard, and then the strait's going to be open." Iran would never have a nuclear weapon. Formal assurances to that effect would be part of any agreement. If Tehran withdraws from negotiations, they're going to get hit really hard. They want to make a deal. We'll see what happens. If they don't make a deal, it's going to be too bad. On August 4th, Donald Trump also claimed that negotiations with Iran were going nicely, suggesting that diplomatic efforts were still making progress.
So we had a very successful event, as you probably know. A lot of good things happened. I have not found out who won the election tonight with Abdul. Who won?
Looks like it's going to go, it'll be a long night.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting. That's what I heard. That's surprising.
The ESA co-chair says that socialists are the new base of the party. Is that true for Democrats?
It could be, I would say so. The communists are the new base. Yeah, I'd say so.
Where are we with Iran?
I mean, don't forget, Abdul was way down a few weeks ago. Now I guess it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a horse race.
Mr. President, where are we with Iran?
We're moving along very nicely. We'll find out. We'll know in 48 hours.
Mr. President, what did you say to Denise Europe yesterday in the Oval Office? And how did she explain what happened with you guys?
Well, I just think she was totally wrong. They did a beautiful job. There were a couple of little things, but that was not a big deal. And everybody saw the vandalism. All you have to do is look at the tape. If you look at the tape, plus we have a witness or two witnesses that saw the vandalism. So certainly where there was vandalism, it was actually, in my opinion, it was major vandalism. And I told her I was not happy.
Is she safe? Are you going to keep her in the position?
I haven't made a determination.
Will socialists, if more socialists prevail for Democrats, does that hurt Democrats in the midterm so Republicans keep
What?
winning?
What does what hurt?
If more socialists keep winning.
Look, they've got a party. It's a mess. I think it's a mess. I think they should form another party, the Communists of America Party. I think they should have a new party, the Communists of America, and it will do well. It'll get about 10% of the vote.
On the Strait of Hormuz, Axios is reporting that it might open as soon as tomorrow.
Could happen. Tomorrow or
tomorrow or Thursday.
A lot of progress has been made.
What?
And they called me and they said, please, let's talk. They want to talk. The funny thing is they never mention that. They always say, we're not talking. But they called. They wanted to talk. We've been talking. They want to make a deal. They do not want to be hit. This was the biggest hit since World War II, as I said. They did not, and they saw it happening. They saw all the goods being loaded. They saw everything. They knew exactly what was happening. And I think it'd be very smart to make a deal. We'll see what happens. They had a very good day. The negotiations were good. The stock market was up tremendously over the last 3-4 days. We set new records today in the stock market. Yesterday, today. I think it's like 78 times now during a very short period of time. So a lot of good things are happening. The trade numbers are phenomenal. You saw that. Our economic numbers are unbelievable, like never, ever before. The investment into our country is at a number that nobody's ever even imagined. We are doing really well. I'll see you on the plane, okay?
Max Miller, can you comment on Representative Miller?
I hope he's able to work it out. I feel bad.
The US military used nearly 80% of its THAAD interceptor stockpile during the Iran conflict, according to a CNN report. Reports also say the United States has expended roughly half of its Patriot missile inventory since the conflict with Iran began. Senior US military commanders are reportedly warning that stockpiles of several key precision munitions have reached dangerously low levels. The THAAD air defense system plays a critical role in intercepting ballistic missiles at high altitudes and protecting strategic military assets. Patriot air defense systems have also been used extensively to intercept Iranian ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drone attacks throughout the conflict. CNN reported that the US Army has consumed virtually all of its available long-range precision strike missiles during recent operations. Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMS, were among the precision weapons reportedly depleted after months of sustained combat operations. The report also said the Army's newer precision strike missiles, or PRSMs, were heavily consumed during recent military operations. US stockpiles of Tomahawk cruise missiles have also reportedly declined significantly following months of intensive military operations. The Center for Strategic and International Studies estimated the United States possessed approximately 452 THAAD interceptors before the conflict began. CSIS also estimated that the United States had roughly 2,200 modern Patriot interceptor missiles before the outbreak of the war. The shrinking missile inventories have raised concerns about America's readiness for potential high-intensity conflict in the Indo-Pacific region. Several Gulf allies have reportedly warned that lower US missile stockpiles could weaken regional defenses against future missile and drone threats. A number of America's regional partners rely heavily on THAAD and Patriot air defense systems to protect critical energy infrastructure. CNN reported that concerns over munitions shortages were discussed before President Trump decided to halt planned military strikes against Iran. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly received the initial authorization before the planned operation was later placed on hold. On August 4, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth publicly rejected CNN's report and denied claims that the US military is facing a critical weapons shortage. A new report claimed the US has used virtually all of its long-range precision missiles during the war with Iran, raising fresh concerns over America's military stockpiles. The depleted inventory reportedly includes Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMS, along with newer precision strike missiles, according to the Times of Israel. Sources told the report that the prolonged 5-month conflict had sharply reduced US inventories of key long-range precision-guided weapons. The report said the declining missile stockpile has raised concerns about America's readiness to respond to any future large-scale military conflict. Analysts warned that shrinking inventories could weaken U.S. deterrence against major adversaries such as Russia and China if another crisis emerged. One source said U.S. Central Command had replenished part of its inventory by transferring munitions from other regional commands during the conflict. However, the sources declined to reveal how many ATACMS or precision strike missiles the United States still has available in its remaining arsenal.
Upgrade your news experience with the all-new HT app. Download now.